Welcome everyone. In this video, we will be creating a table in MySQL. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so first thing that we need to create a table is to create a database. Okay, so how can we do that? Type in create and then schema. Schema and database are just the same function, meaning, so we don't have to worry about it. All right. And then after you type in create schema, choose the name or type in the name create schema. My will be create table and then close it with a semicolon and then click, press Control Enter to run the and then make sure to refresh this side of the screen or your workbench schema area and then refresh all, and then there we go. Our create table schema is appearing there. All right, next is we will be creating a table in that schema. So let's say you already have a schema or database where you want to add your table. Just make sure to use function and type in the schema that you would like to put, where you would like to put the table on. All right, so use create table and then close it and then run it, Control Enter. There we go, automatically opens. And then now let's create the table. So type in create table and then put your table name. So I'm gonna put my table 1. Okay, and then once done with that, type in the column names of your table. So I will be putting my, let's say, full name. Okay, and then the next value or the next thing that you need to type in is what character type, what data type it's going to be. So if I'm going to be putting bar chart, so variable character, and then open parentheses, how many characters do you want on this table? So I'm going to put 20 and then close it, and it should be not null. So basically there should be blanks on this table. And next value separated with a comma and then enter. Let's put in the next value. Would go to age. Okay, so column name will be age and it will be an integer. All right, so because we are going to be using a number here on the age column. And same as full name, let's declare this not null. Okay, there shouldn't be any blanks. All right, next will be gender. So gender, we can put here variable character as well, and then put in the number of characters you would like. But let's try enum. So enum creates a selection for this character, for this column input. So let's say we put in male or M, and then single quotation mark F. Okay, so if you'll be doing a character, always do a quotation mark, single or double. Okay, and then close it. All right, and then for here we can leave it as binary. So what enum does is when you create or when you input a value on this column, which is gender, it should be only M or F. All right. So if you put in G or C, your input would get an error. Okay. Next, let's add a hire date. Okay, so hire date should be a date. So type in the data type for date. And, okay, and it should be not null. Okay, and then let's close this. Okay, so these are the 4 columns that we need to our table on our table. And let's close it with a semicolon, and then let's run it. Control Enter, or you can put you can press this lightning icon. Okay, but I prefer the Control Enter. There we go. So you can see it here. Create table successful because of the green check. So let's refresh this schema section. Then let's click the tables, table one, columns. There we go. We have now the columns, or maybe we can select rows and then there we go. It shows the columns there. All right. So next is how do we input or insert values on the columns that we created or the table. So we can do that by typing in insert into. All right, so insert into, and then what table name? So table one. All right. Next is create and open the parentheses. Here we will be typing in the table, sorry, the column names. All right. So column name, comma age, comma gender, comma, and then let's close it. Now, so we already specified the column. Now let's put in the values. So type in values. All right, and then open parentheses again, and then type in the first value for the full name. So let's say Jason Smith, right? And then if you put in a comma here, you are now going to be putting something in age. So what age Jason Smith is, let's say 32, comma, so what gender is a male, okay, comma, and then his hard date. So when you put in a date as well, you need to use a quotation mark. Okay, 2022, 3, 1, and then close the quotation mark, and then close the parentheses. So now we have values in our row one. Now, if you want to add values, additional values, that will be in row two, we can just type in a comma, and let's select the, or let's put in the values now. Okay, so let's say Pamela, so Pamela Sanchez, okay, age 30, female, and hire date is 21, June and 12. Let's close it. And there we go. We have now typed 2 rows of values. So let's close it. Semicolon and then press enter. Control enter to run. There we go. So 2 rows affected records to duplicate 0, 1 is good. So green check being successful. Now let's refresh just to make sure, and then let's just show the values on the table that we created. Select. So by the way, the select star and some other functions, the big 6 of SQL, I discussed it on my previous video about SQL using MySQL workbench. So you might want to watch that if you want to know the big 6. So yeah, so select star. Star is again selecting all the columns from a table, and then from what table? So table 1. And let's run it. There we go. So here's the table that we created on the create table schema that we created as well. And here are the values. All right. So I hope that you learned something useful on this video of mine that can jumpstart your SQL or MySQL learning. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you, and see you in the next video.